Bitch, you're
Put that in
basic
the
at Starbucks.
description, don't worry.
Okay.
Don't ask me who I be on.
Okay, so we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
It's recording.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I just started like 9 seconds, like 10, 11 seconds, 12 seconds, like 13 seconds ago. Yeah. All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. The subtle art of whatever. My name is Whatever Jacob. Over here on my left, which is your guys is nothing. He's Mr. Tyler Prasad. Hello, Mr. Tyler.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you today, sir?
You know, it's been a long day, but we're gonna get through it.
Damn straight, bitch. And then we have
Language.
Matt is my name.
Matt. There
I'm
we
glad
go.
to be here, Mr. King.
Mundane Matt, as we like to call him.
But today's
It's
Wednesday.
Which means it's early day for our folks out there in school, so kudos to that.
You know,
You
I don't
really
think
like
I
to
don't think
bring up like people in school.
you know. No, I don't think all states have an early day.
Actually, no. A lot of I know northern states they actually do block period, especially, but they don't do early.
No, yeah, a
days.
lot of states don't do an early day because then some states actually do to where you just have a 4-day school week because you don't have like an early day, so to speak, but they have an extra hour added onto it.
Oh, that's.
But then you have a weekend.
But it's 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh.
It could be Friday to Sunday or, Saturday to Monday or
Oh no! If I was a parent, I would like get the fuck out of my house on Monday. I wouldn't want you home. Like go to
No,
school.
I-
Well,
Actually,
most parents would hopefully work.
There was a teacher at our middle school, the science teacher for 8th graders. I'm not gonna say his name.
Oh, it was a guy.
There's a guy.
Okay, I don't know who the fuck. I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you have him?
Who did I have in 8th grade?
Mr. H.
No, I did not.
You didn't have Mr. H.
No,
But-
I know who you're talking about, but no, I did not.
yeah. Do you know Mr.
No,
H?
I didn't. I don't. I went to
I
Corner
think he
Lake
was-
like a month, like 2 months before I left.
I think he was
What's the
more.
name of the
I think
school?
he was more of like a. I'm not gonna say advanced, but I'm gonna say more of like
He
a.
was
Wasn't
he
he
was a
gifted?
higher level.
I think he was gifted. So that's
No,
probably
they
what.
didn't do gifted for science.
Oh, they did not.
No, they only did it for English.
Well, it was
Okay.
probably.
But no,
advanced or
but he
something.
yeah, but just to add an extra note, he used to teach at a school where they did that, and he told us about that and how he wished the our system locally did that, and I agree. It's more efficient.
But
Oh,
instead,
well, I mean, or you'd be like Japan, where you go to school Monday to Sunday.
But aren't there some benefits of those though?
well, yeah, because their days are so much shorter. They get out like lunchtime, if not sooner.
Yeah. Okay.
But like, I think also they're not in school as long either. Like, I
That's
mean,
what you
like
just
like
said.
no,
No,
not like hours.
Not
of
in
the
the days,
day.
but like in the year out of the
Years.
year, they have like a summer that's like.
A lot longer.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call it a summer because it could probably go into the spring as well,
But,
or the winter or the fall or whatever they have over there.
They just have 6 months of school, 6 months no school.
dude.
It could work because Monday through Sunday,
too much
and if
off
you're
time,
there,
to be
and if you're
honest.
there for
Yeah,
like
no, that
4 to
could be-
5 hours a day, that's.
But that's kind of bad though. Like, if you go to school for that long.
like
Well,
we-
I feel like it's not 6 months straight. They break it up.
Sorry. No, you're fine. No, but like, I don't know. It's just the way you're like angling into the mic. But no, like, there's some students now who suffer with 2 months off. So imagine
Yeah.
if they had 6 months off, they'd be screwed.
Well, I feel like also over there, I feel like they go to school a lot more than we do though.
Oh no, they definitely
They definitely do.
Well, no, I know like if I'm not how Sweden. I think it's Sweden. It's either Sweden or Switzerland. It's one of the S countries. They actually have like one of the best like education systems. And I don't
think
know
it's
how
Sweden.
Is it Sweden?
I think so.
Yeah, I can't
I
remember
read that
offhand.
somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know what their system is, but they have like the best, if not one of the best education systems in
Yeah,
the
I
world.
think it's Sweden is good at education, and the Swiss have a really good military, but they've never been to war. We're just gonna not talk about that.
Viva la France.
Where are you going?
I'm checking my phone.
Oh.
So let it be known, Matt's on the floor right now checking his
He's checking his
iPhone.
beautiful iPhone 6s.
No, it's a 6.
No, it's a 6s.
Oh, it's a 6S.
6S.
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
6S. He got
the
that special
space
phone.
gray 6S.
And it does not work just like his car. It just does not work.
It's the same color too, if you think about it.
Oh, it kind of is the same color. Maybe you're just not lucky with the gray.
Yeah,
maybe,
you
maybe
need
you
to-
should go to like gold or silver.
I actually thought about getting the rose gold, the rose gold. That
The
one's
rose gold's
actually kinda
nice.
I might get that. That's like the mint green. What's the official green?
Midnight
color?
green.
Yeah,
Midnight green.
On the
I
new
like
11
that.
Pro?
Yeah,
Yeah,
midnight green. That one's actually kind of nice.
I've been looking at it and like I really was skeptical about it at first, but then like the more and more I see pictures of it and videos
I really
of it,
like it.
I kind of like it more. People were saying like because like people who like went to the Apple event and like you can see it hands on at the
Yeah.
at the Apple place.
You should do that.
Which we had to get invited to that.
Okay.
Anywho.
Get some press passes.
Anywho.
Journalism.
FTV passes.
FTV. Anyway, for it, a lot of people are saying it's more like a bluish green.
Oh.
Depending on like how the light hits it, it like makes it look like a bluish green. So I mean, I don't really know because like, I don't want to buy a phone color if I'm not gonna like.
Well,
know
But
what it looks like.
I see the blue
How-
screen from the other green. You know, the regular like iPhone 11, that green.
Well, that
Maybe
one's like a
that's what
lot.
they're
That's a
talking
more.
about.
No. It's the 11 Pro. Like it's showing a video and it's like it looks like a bluish green.
I have no idea.
But how much longer till they have like, because all of the images shown were just like digital models, right? No actual
From where?
from the what you would call it, the live show that they just had. There was no physical like real.
No, there was.
There were like
No, that's what.
non-digital.
No, like there was like the actual phone there.
Okay.
Like they bring it out.
So,
No,
like,
I know.
like-
I wasn't sure if they
So
did
like
that.
you
or
know
not.
like how the Apple Store how they have like those tables where you can like check out all their phones and stuff like that. They have that at their events so people can see the new products
and all
they
those
announce.
lovely.
And then all
invitees
those
get
people
to
who
do
were
it.
there like CNET and like all
Yeah,
those.
well,
phones or
I've seen it in
companies.
the past. I just wasn't sure if this phone specifically was.
No, yeah, and
put out
people are
there.
saying it looks like a bluish green in person,
Gotcha.
If
but it
three
could
of
also be
the-
just the lighting.
If 3 of the major news networks who get invited to these events would like to hire us, so we can go to this event,
Our
we will
contact
solely.
info-
Well,
yeah.
there are YouTubers who just do YouTube and do it. Like Justine, she's like a major Apple enthusiast, and she goes to it. Marcus
Brown.
But like you said, we have to get invited and we're not on the level yet.
we become famous.
Sometimes.
Well, we know someone famous.
Unbox Therapy gets invited.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
yeah.
But not as much.
Everything Apple Pro, like Apple, like, he asked Apple if he could go, and they told him no because you test our phones, like because he tests like drop resistant and stuff like that with
Yeah.
them. They're like, no, you can't.
He's
go.
probably
it's
going to test it,
expensive.
right? He's going to test the phone right there on
Well, no,
display.
I
Take
think
some
it
water.
might have been you who told me about it. But didn't like a YouTuber get invited to the event and like broke the phone or something at the event? Or like, they did something with the phone where like it just they couldn't have it on display.
That's when my
anymore.
fellow security professionals are going to escort that man off the property and over to Samsung.
Yeah, but I want to say it was you. Or, it was either you or you two. But like at one of these Apple events,
Uh-huh.
they showed up and they like broke the phone, like tested, like not dropped it, but like it just did not work.
Oh my!
And it wasn't a Apple issue; it was a user error.
And that's why that man
That
will
is what
never
I
be
tell my
invited ever
grandmother
again.
every time she asks me to fix her
Yeah,
phone. She's
but
like, "Something's wrong with this
To
fucking
me,
phone."
that just sounds like a bad relationship between the person and the phone. Like
He just messed up.
I don't know why they got so silent.
I don't know. I don't know why either.
Let it be known, Matt broke himself.
All right,
I don't know
guys.
how.
It's like when you're playing a video game and all your characters just freeze and they all like just like
Walking in
reboot
place.
and then
Oh yeah, like Gmail, where you just
yeah, and they just like freeze and then in place. Like when you play Sims and you like debug your character, they like stand up and their arms just go like
yeah,
completely
they
straight out,
T-pose, Yeah.
and then they go back to whatever they're doing, and it's so weird.
Yeah, I was trying to do a smooth.
Fascinating.
I deleted the Sims off
Trying
my
to do a smooth
computer.
transition there, but I guess that's impossible.
All right, so let's start talking about like what we're
Yeah,
gonna
let's
talk about
get
today.
on topic
Yeah,
here.
that's what I was trying to.
Okay, so
So
the
this-
topics we're going to talk today is about relationships, friendships, and cheating. So the first one we're going to talk about today is going to be friendships. We're going to talk about friendships first and like how
Yes, I like that.
friends are a thing.
Friends are cool, I guess.
Friends are alright. I mean, it just depends on.
I mean, but it
It depends on the level of friends.
yeah,
There's-
you,
there's-
you really gotta
because you can have like people who are like your like acquaintances,
Quote,
type of
unquote.
friends.
like I don't know
friends.
what there's a word for words that have multiple definitions, and friends is one of those. That technically, like the Webster definition is singular, but in modern day life, there's multiple. Because you have your, like you're saying, your quote unquote friends, and then you have your actual friends, and you have
Then
your
you
best
have work
friends.
friends, and then you have
And then you have those friends that are not even friends; they're more a family. So
Yeah.
They're non-blood relatives.
But
That's what I would kind of call like us in a sort of way.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah,
like we're
family.
family. That's gay.
We're a little family.
We're a little,
Not really, because I mean,
it's not. We are happy, yes.
wow, what a simpleton.
Thank you.
No, but yeah, like we're definitely more of like family than we are friends. And like I would say like some people at like who are still like my friends who are like still in high school, they're more of just like friends.
Yeah, they're just there. They're not so much a big portion of my life. Is that how I want to say that? But they're there, and I do care about them. But again, they're not. You okay?
Yeah,
He's looking at his
I'm
phone.
looking at my phone.
He tried to distract me. He's like distracted driving, but that's another.
Tried to?
Yeah, that's
Pretty
another.
successful. I mean, you did stop talking completely. But
Well,
continue.
Are
anyway,
you okay, Matt? You're like all over the
Matt's
place.
doing some Tai Chi right now, some yoga.
Bro, my body's stressed, okay?
Anywho,
Yeah, you want to hear about stress, but that's another
My
podcast.
body, idiot, not mental stress.
okay, so like with my with friends, like I would say like Mr. Tevia, he's more of like a best friend. I didn't say his actual name though. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I would say with like Mr. Tevia, he's more of like my best friend. And I can't focus with this kid.
Matt was doing some yoga, doing the Tai Chi pose, the sunset pose. I believe, what are they called? The Whispering Wind? That's the one where
Can
the...
you please just not? He hurt himself.
Are there any trained yoga instructors listening to this podcast right now? Matt needs some help. Breathe in through your nose and let out the tranquility.
Reach for it.
You look just like a...
Reach for it,
You
and
look
then
just
wait
like
for
a
it.
flamingo.
Wait for it.
Soon you'll hear his pants split open.
Like he's gonna fucking fall and bust his ass. Okay, so
Whoever's in the kitchen, they just heard me fall.
anywho, I don't think anyone's. I don't know.
Well, we are on the second floor, and
Yeah.
let it be known he might go through the floor.
That's my goal.
We'll have a sunroof.
So back to what we were saying. Like, friends are. Shut up, Matt. Friends are really like. I don't know. Like, friends are weird.
Your friends are weird, yes.
Like,
Well, there's also some of those friends, like, I have some friends who I don't talk to as often as I used to, like, back in middle school, but they're still, like, really good friends.
Yeah. But it's so weird though, because like you can still go talk to them, but it'd be like
Exactly.
I haven't talked to you in like 4 years.
Well, no,
But
but
yeah,
there-
we can just pick right up.
but, like, there's something you don't even have to, like, point it out. Like, you just go straight into it. Like, let's say, like, me and you 5 years from now, I could just come back to you. I don't have to say nothing to you besides, let's say I have a problem. I could, like, just say a problem to you, and we don't gotta worry about nothing else. We just go right into it.
You're not
like,
wrong.
Like, there's those type of friends, too. Whether or not they're family or even just really good friends. Like, my buddy Dean, like, we don't talk to each other that often. Like, we see each other every now and then. We say hi, but, like, if we got problems, we come to each other every now and then. And there's, like, right back into it, you know, the flow of things.
Fascinating.
Thank you.
Fascinating. So,
Pouring my heart out for you guys.
now, what do you think about like friends? You know, we're move on to the second topic of this video.
Yeah.
Friends becoming into like relationships. Like I'm looking at Matt here because
So-
Matt dated one of our friends who was
Yeah,
also his
so
friend.
for this part of the podcast, folks, we'll put a little disclaimer out
They
there.
put this specific
Matt,
word-
listen, we're gonna put a little disclaimer out there. Matt's gonna kind of sit on the side here because he's gonna have a very, I'm not gonna say bias, but he's gonna have his side of things, and unfortunately, the other side of things is not here to kind of, not gonna say defend, but they're not here to give their side. So, but he will be
we'll,
here.
we'll FaceTime her and put her in.
Yeah, I don't know how well she's gonna appreciate that one.
include,
But
we'll include her clip.
we're gonna get some quotes from our on the scene, our
Oh,
field
yeah, but we'll
reporters.
pull out the notes and like, hold on, I have a little notepad.
Yeah, we did
here
have
of
a
our
report. We did
quotes.
have an agent out in the field, and he did get some input.
Now to Alex downstairs.
Yeah, our friend
He'll
Dimitri.
pretend to act like there's a lot of wind and like hold his hat. So I'm standing
It's
here.
like
Our-
the people at the hurricane this past week. They're like, as you can see, the hurricane is taking effect, and like there's like short tide.
Our friend Dimitri. Thanks, man, for going out there to that one
Oh,
city.
I thought you were talking about the
up
person
there.
who just messaged you
I know,
on your
sorry,
watch.
I'm
I was
sorry.
like, say their name to the world.
That person would probably kill us.
Dimitri's not even close.
Yeah, no, nowhere near. Totally different alphabet. Let me tell you, Dimitri. Thank you for going out to the field.
Spelled Dimitri even close to the full word with her name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nowhere near.
Yeah,
Yeah, but thank you, Dimitri, for going out into the field and getting all these info notes for us. Even though, you know, Matt won't be given too much of his side. Well, actually, he probably will. Yeah, just so you know, guys, hurricane whatnot is outside, so
Yeah,
we're just gonna put that out
whatnot.
there.
Okay. So
beautiful
so
sun.
friends, relationships. Like when I feel like dating your friend, like we've all done it. I am pretty sure at one point or gotten close to it.
Yeah,
There we go.
fascinating.
Well, you know, we because like when you like, it usually happens to someone like you're really like one of your close friends too.
Oh
'cause
boy,
you're
you're
like,
not
so open
even.
with them.
Yeah, you're very close to that one, my friend.
Well, technically with like me and Brenna, like if I
That's a
wasn't,
whole different type of love.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a
but, like,
different
if
type,
I wasn't,
folks.
if I wasn't a homosexual, like I feel like it'd be a little bit different.
You're right.
Yeah, you definitely would. But you know, life works out weird sometimes, and again, that brings us back to the point where you get really close to that best friend, and then they become more than friends, and the next thing you know,
I mean, next thing you know, you're waking up with them next to your face in the morning, and they're looking at you like,
hello.
"What's up, beach?"
That or they're trying to sneak out of the house before you even wake up and you catch them.
That's just awkward. That's never happened to me though.
Yeah, well, they won't be staying.
I've never woken up and had someone try to leave my room. Probably because I've never ever had anyone stay over my room like that before.
Good man.
Yeah,
Because I can tell you right now.
I always go to them.
I can tell you right now.
James don't want to speak.
I can tell you right now that pre-made cup of coffee.
I've probably never stayed over at someone else's house.
Good man.
Yeah, good man.
Besides,
Not in that way.
no, not in that way. Unless I've like been talking to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I won't say his name, but
Yes, that.
Mr. L.
Yes.
Yeah.
C.
And not the Mr. L who teaches psychology over at the high school
Yes.
or on the
Oh,
college
he's-
campus.
Now he's a dean somewhere else.
Oh, is he?
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Yeah, because last year.
Fascinating.
Oh yeah, that's right. That man owes me a trip to Chicago. Just putting that out there.
I'm going to Chicago. I'm going to Chicago next year.
Well, I'm going. I'm going this year. So, I'm going this year
My dad's
to go
taking
see
me-
our friend Balake.
My dad's taking me to Chicago next year.
That's next year, not this year.
I know, but he's taking me next year, and then my mom's taking me to Spain next year.
Man, I wish.
So he's going
I'm going
in
to
America,
Chicago.
then he's going out of America, and that's that kind of distant friendship thing because we're gonna see how good our friendship works out. While he's
Okay,
in those
I'm
two
only
different
gonna. I'll
places.
probably be in Chicago for
He's
like
gone for a day.
like 4 days.
Okay,
at
but that's
the
a long
most.
time.
And then my mom's like said
Okay,
we're gonna go to
listen,
Italy.
We don't go 4 days without
Hey,
seeing each other.
Tyler can barely go a day without texting you. I mean, that's why he like showed up to your house.
My
Because he
well,
missed you.
Chicago. I mean,
We just
when
thought
I go
he
to
was dead,
Spain,
okay?
my mom said like 10 days.
You thought he was dead too. If you didn't have class.
Story.
Yeah.
But, we're not
But
gonna tell
relationships.
that story. Relationships are weird.
Yeah,
They're
they're really
tough.
weird.
Like all around.
They're tough.
Especially when you get to that friend to more than friend.
And then eventually, if it doesn't work out, what happens next? You don't know because even if you have a talk
Well,
beforehand.
Well, yeah, well, that's like if you're like dating your friend. Like, what happens now after you guys break up? But then it's also like, there's also that some part where like you just met them and you're dating them and you don't really like fully know them like that. Like they were never like really your friend before you dated them. You just like started dating them. And then you'd be like, I still like you as a person and I still want to be your friend, but like,
Will that actually
this is
happen?
awkward. Like, I don't want to really be a part of your life anymore.
Agreed.
Relationships are tough. Right, Matt?
Very much so. I mean, especially when you get to more adult relationships, not this like every
Oh yeah,
day
high school bullshit drama.
Or
Like one of our
the middle
friends.
school, or so from our
We all. I hope you know that we're talking about you. We're not going to say your name, but I
Like,
hope you know
like,
we're
no
talking
disrespect,
about
but
you.
it's just
we
an
know
observation.
who you are, and let me tell you,
Oh.
that's some middle school nonsense. Get your lives together.
Oh yeah, their relationship is definitely not a high school relationship. It's a middle school relationship.
Yeah, like, actually,
I'm
though.
only giving the benefit of the doubt because they are both in high school.
Yeah, but
That's
you
the only
know,
reason I'm calling
one
it
is
that.
older, and unfortunately, the younger
2 years.
mind. Yeah, but the younger mind itself is way closer to those middle school years than the other one.
Oh yeah, but she like, God, it's
Oh,
annoying.
Jake's getting kind of emotional over here, folks.
It's
We need some
annoying
tissues.
because like I just find it annoying in a lot of parts about like. Especially high school relationships are really annoying because you get those people who are like, we're gonna last forever and be together forever. And I'm
Forever
like,
is like
and
3
I'm like,
days.
I'm like,
Okay.
good for you if you can make it for that long. But you know how small like people who meet in like high school stay together.
There's actually, I want to bring on a personal experience here. So I do have a friend. Him and his girlfriend have been together for 8 years. Now they graduated with Jake and I last year, class of what were we, 2019. So class of 2019, these two have been together every year since like I think. Well, how many years is that? Like 6th grade, 7th
We're
grade.
talking about I don't want to say her name.
No, but C
and then
C and
Chicago,
C-
the guy in Chicago.
No.
It's
These
not-
are two
not-
two
oh,
different
not-
people.
not-
You probably
not-
don't know these people.
So not B and A. No, B and K.
No.
Okay.
No.
This is
they-
this
they-
is
they
C.
are-
This is C and C.
That's right. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
That's why B left.
Good. I'm glad he did.
Hey,
She was crazy.
B wanted to stay here.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, no, but listen,
scenario
this is
next.
CNC. Now, CNC, if you're listening out there, credit to you guys, because you guys have been together since middle school, now post high school, and Jake will talk about it after, okay?
Okay.
Because I can tell you're confused. You don't know who
I'm
I'm
talking
talking
about who the
about.
hell fucking CNC is.
Everything when I tell you, you'll know.
I can just stop the recording right now and you can say it and then we can start
Okay.
back up.
in public. Like there's little things that if you really pay attention, you're like, oh, obviously they're together. But they're for the most part, they're just really good friends, even though they're dating.
Yeah, it's recording.
Yeah, like they're phenomenal. Like
they
really,
are the ideal.
Yeah, like you don't think a relationship from that early on in life is really gonna go past the next stage, going from middle school to high school, but
Matt, can I have my blanket?
yeah, they made it work. And then again, post high school, they're both in the area, they're both going to school, both working, all that kind of stuff, and it's still working.
Well, that's good because, like, I mean, my sister has a friend who they met like back in middle school too.
Yeah.
And they're married now, and they have a kid now, and like that's just crazy to me that like
no, that
is
is actually really crazy because you usually don't. They say I think
it's a small change.
I was reading a study once, and they said 90% of people in America meet the person they're going to marry in high school, regardless of
how soon it is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they're dating. Doesn't matter if it's 10 years at a reunion or 5 years after, and everyone's out of college.
That's scary.
Yeah, like think about
that's
that.
really scary. Like,
really
now again,
who the fuck are my choices?
Well, think about it again. You have a 10% chance of not marrying someone in high school. Don't get me wrong.
Wait, was it 90 or did you say 99%?
It was 90.
Okay,
90.
Okay.
So
Jake's really was praying for
no,
that
yeah,
10%.
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. But you've got a good chance again. That 10%. If you consider how many people are in America, and I'm not sure how broad the study was, or if it was over one state or a few states or whatever, but that is a really big chance, though. 90% of people.
Fuck.
Some girl I have in my SGA class could be my future wife, and I wouldn't even know.
But we're not gonna get into that one over here, or unless you want to.
Big oof. Big.
I don't know where he's going with this.
I know exactly.
That's the fun.
I know
That's
exactly
the
what
fun.
he's going
But
with.
no,
this.
that's the thing. Like I know a specific. Like we were actually talking about it yesterday. I think is it about? What we were
Yeah,
talking
and
about
that's
yesterday?
part of the
Okay.
fun, folks.
Was it what were we talking about yesterday? Okay, that's a negative. Just
Hey,
so you know, Jake.
But there's also plenty of other people.
Oh,
on
you
my
wouldn't?
list, too.
oh yeah, is there?
You wouldn't?
Hey, again, 90%. You don't have to be close to them now. Yes, Jake.
Joanne's.
Yes, Jake.
Yeah.
Yes, Jake.
Joanne's?
Yes.
No.
What?
Oh, well, we're asking.
Okay,
about
well,
why
okay,
this-
let's talk about this now.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
Let's talk about
Again,
this
why I said Matt's going to take kind of a sideline on this one because he's too heavily invested in more ways than one.
Oof.
So I'm officially deleting myself from this podcast.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Control Alt Delete.
He's logging off,
Delete
folks.
Windows 32. Oh, you got a Mac. Just kidding.
Bro, he's logging off. He's
Delete
logging off.
Mac OS. What is this?
90 something.
Mojave.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mojave.
Gotta love those names, right?
I love that they name it. Like it's such a turn on.
Why would you name yourself Mohammed?
No, it's Mojave. It's a location on Earth.
I was trying to make a joke.
Idiot.
It was between that or no. Why'd you name yourself McLovin? What do you mean? Why else?
So go
It was
down
between
on the
that
list now.
Muhammad.
What else? Are we still in the relationship part? Or
Oh,
are
we
gonna-
could continue. Like okay, so
Well, what's
so
the next
hold
one
on,
after
hold on.
that?
Wait, so relationships are difficult, right? And
Oh, yeah, no, they are.
And like I feel like it's really difficult to like be in relationships, especially in like what some people have trouble with, is like being in a relationship and like being committed.
For sure.
And I've been in like an experienced part of like seeing what happens when people like cheat and stuff like that. My family came from like my parents are divorced because of that. So I mean like I've seen it firsthand, especially like, how drastic it is. But I don't know, it's weird.
Especially in a high school, because high school there's so much drama surrounding relationships because it's not just you invested in it, it's like every single one of your friends, because you tell your friends about this or you may not and they just know because again they're your friends. Now they become invested in that relationship. Now they're putting their input and talking about it amongst the other friends and wondering whether or not you're going to last, or they're talking about things that are going on.
Especially most of these high school relationships, they literally blast their relationship like it's a reality TV show.
Yes, and there's a lot of
So
them
like
who
the moment
And
something changes, it's
and the other
obvious.
thing is like a lot of these girls in high school, they're like so nervous that their boyfriend's gonna cheat on them that they tell them you have to unfollow every girl or you can't talk to any
Yeah,
other
and then,
girl
like,
besides
and any
me.
girl in the
I had a
hall-
girlfriend that made me do that.
and any girl like in the
Yeah.
hallway they say hi.
No. Well,
kind of.
kind of, but
Sorry about that,
a
folks. We got kind of
previous, like-
sidetracked on that one. And I mean, it's really weird because now that's why high schoolers every 3 months, there are a lot of high schools every 3 months you see them with a different girl.
Oh yeah,
There's like a
3 months
straight-
is the average.
Yeah, there's like a straight 2 weeks where they're like depressed as shit, and they're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die and blah 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 blah. Like, get
I'm gonna be
hold of
alone
yourself.
forever, and I'm like, you're
Yeah,
you're
please, like,
12.
like 2
why
weeks
am I
ago,
not
you were
pretty?
perfectly
And it's like,
fine. Like, please get your life together. There are a lot of you out there, and there's one of you who was like following me around for like a day. You need to get your life together, sir. Like, please get your life together.
Oh, he's talking about with that one guy.
Yeah,
who
yeah,
met him
because
at Ale House. Remember?
yeah, I
That's
do.
what
I
I
really
thought
wish.
wasn't-
I really wish Matt was there that day, because let me tell you, that
No,
would have just
I would have started more problems.
exactly that's the point. We didn't get involved because
Oh,
we
I
didn't.
would've-
Again, it was me and
But like, it's so crazy.
it's really just crazy because some people take it to a whole nother level. Now, a little backstory on that one, folks. The reason why he was following me around is because his ex and I were kind of really close. Now, don't get me wrong, I did like her, but we were really good friends, and he just didn't like that. And long story short, he and his friend just kind of followed us around for a day while I was with two of my friends, and it got to the point where he's like, I didn't stab him in the middle of this restaurant. But it's fine. We don't do those things. Jail is not fun. And yeah. So
it's definitely a crazy like thing to think about.
It's also crazy when it's unexpected because there's just a couple of people who like you kind of think about it.
Oh, like you could totally like I could totally see you.
Like you
cheating.
wouldn't be too surprised, and there's other people you're like, you're joking, like that's just some stupid rumor.
yeah.
And then you like, it's confirmed, and there's some people who are in a relationship, they get told about their other doing it, and they're in complete denial.
But
Like-
wouldn't you be in denial as well? Because come on, you don't want to believe it at first.
But there's people who are shown proof,
Mhm.
and they're still just like, oh, you're trying to ruin what I got.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
And they're,
for
they're
sure there are people like
100%.
that.
And I don't. I mean, I'm
And-
not saying they're wrong for it, but
A lot of times
It's
when they're
kinda
shown that,
dangerous.
when they're shown that kind of stuff, is way into the relationship. It's not in the beginning stages. It's like way past, like 3, 4, 5, 6 months in.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, you're not gonna think about it because you have your new normal, your new routine. You're not gonna just drop it all of a sudden for some guy or some girl showing you a picture of so and so sitting in a booth somewhere with this one.
yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's wrong. Like it's definitely a natural thing for someone to do. It's not wrong at all, but
Oh,
it's just very dangerous for some of these people.
Wait, what are you talking about? What's not wrong at all?
Like when people are shown proof that their significant other is like
okay.
cheating,
Yeah.
and they deny it, like it's completely
No,
normal.
no. Okay,
But it's just
okay, yeah.
dangerous if they don't stay on their toes.
No, yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Unfortunately, though, it's sad that you have to stay on your toes.
Oh, definitely.
Like
because like I feel like at a certain point you'd be like, especially with like when it comes to like marriage,
Yeah.
you'd be like, we've gone this far. I can't like you it'd be hard to believe. Yeah, exactly. Like it'd be super hard to believe. Like how did someone just cheat on me like this? Like we've done so much together. Like because usually when you're married, it's been like at least 5 years at that point.
Yeah.
Most marriages at least are around like 4. You've been dating for like 4 years, and then you get married. That's at least that's just how I see it. So
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
the average, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just weird to see that like you've been at least 4 years together, and then like now you've married, and you went through the whole process of being married, and now he cheats or she cheats, and it's just like, what was the fucking point of going through that whole fucking process?
And some people more than others, they really go through thick and thin with these
To-
people.
I know they
then-
try so hard to not get caught, and I'm like, you're doing so much effort for what?
It's because they're living in a movie and they don't want it to end.
That's a valid point. I will agree with that.
Is there any actors listening right now? Let me tell you right now.
I can't stand you.
Because I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be like some minor role actors listening, not like any. And no, Brad Pitt probably won't listen to this, and if he does,
Oh my god!
thank you for
Didn't
listening.
isn't him and Angelina Jolie got divorced?
They got divorced like a year or two ago. But the
Yeah.
kids, I think they happily divorced.
Okay.
Not perfectly happily, but I mean like there's no.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Wait, no. They actually had. I'm pretty sure. I take that back. I don't know what I was thinking. There's like I'm pretty sure there was like a lawsuit. I think.
Oh.
I think Angelina Jolie like sued Brad Pitt over. I think it was something with one of the kids. She like sued him for it. But
I
She
don't.
wanted
I think
back the
Angelina
Fruity
Jolie is
Pebbles.
actually a really good actress.
You don't think?
I think she is.
Oh.
Because like she got like I remember
She did a great job in Maleficent.
Maleficent,
I don't
yeah.
want to say it because there's a second one coming out, and she's gonna be in the new Eternals movie.
No, yeah, and
That-
people were upset at her being in Eternals though, and I was like, I think she's perfectly fine. Like I mean, like yeah, she looks really skinny. Like she's don't get me wrong, she like I feel like she looks a lot better a little bit like maybe like 3 years ago than what she does right now. But I'm like, I like her acting. She's not a terrible actress.
And she's also, I mean, it also helps that she's bringing more of the, you know how like there's certain actors who kind of stick with these superhero movies and there's certain actors who stay away.
Mhm.
She's kind of breaking that barrier and she's kind of forming.
Yeah.
She bring it back, but let's go because let's save Marvel talk for a whole nother.
Yeah.
I fucking love Marvel.
Yeah, he does.
So
it's just weird.
So let me ask you this: let me ask you this: would cheating ever be acceptable for anything? Like, do you ever think cheating would ever be okay?
Am I allowed to answer this?
Yeah.
Okay.
You go first.
Okay. So like, personally, hell no. I mean, that's a definite no. But I think there can be a line drawn between completely throwing away everything that you have with that person and doing something about it, not just ending things and just cutting everything off. I think there is a line to be drawn. Now, where that line is drawn is up to whoever
Both
might
parties.
be. Yeah, both parties. But I don't think every case should just be thrown like something happens and it's immediately like done.
Especially when you
stuff.
Especially when you've done with somebody for like if you've been in a relationship for like super long,
Mm-hmm.
and like you know we all make mistakes. That's what makes us humans. We all fuck up at one
Exactly.
point in our lives. So like especially that's a valid point. Like if you really did care and you really do love them, I understand like maybe you'd be a little bit more skeptical the second time around, but like at least you could try and be like if have a serious conversation with them like. Do you not want to be in this anymore? And then like we can just continue from there instead of just like throwing it out of the way. Like I understand like cheating is really heartbreaking and it can hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But
there's actually I don't know the exact number, but I know there have been I don't want to use the word studies, but there have been polls and there is a good chance of it working out after that first time.
yeah.
And you talk things. There's still a good chance of it getting
Sometimes
better.
sometimes it can just get a lot better and your marriage or whatever can just last a lot longer because
it really just depends on the person too,
Exactly.
because some people they all have their different views and opinions, and this brings us back to like, is this high school, college, post, like you're in your career, your life, whatever. Different stages of life have different opinions for them.
Yes, that's a fact. Because usually how it is like if you're older and you're like, damn it Siri. So usually like in your life though. What are you doing? What are you doing?
We're listening to you talk about cheating.
We're looking at my iPad.
Because we like the
posting it.
background. And we also are
Oh my god, you just broke it. I'm just kidding.
Matt doesn't have a whole lot of Apple products.
I'm trying, okay.
Oh no. Anyways, but yeah, like what you were saying though. Shut the fuck up. What you were saying though, like with like especially when you're older, a lot of older couples usually don't end up wanting to get divorced because if you're
It's
like
a
50,
lot of work, because
yeah,
think
if you're
about it, like
50 years old, you're like
I'm
you
not
really
about
wanna
to
live on your
separate my
own.
bank account, my everything. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people who like after it happens, they're separated, but they're still married only because it's just easier on them. Well, a whole lot of things and legalities.
Well, no, yeah, that's definitely like I'm not 100% sure like how my grandparents were like on my dad's side.
Yeah.
But I do know like there was a point where they just wanted to no longer be together. But they're like we're like 50, 60 years old. They're like, what's the point of going through the whole process of just ending it? We might as well just deal with each other until we both die.
Basically.
Yes.
So yeah, I do agree. Especially in high school, if you cheat, it's more of like you cheat, you're done.
Yeah, and like, and don't get me wrong, like, there are a lot of high school relationships that they last from freshman to like I'm gonna say like sophomore year, maybe junior year, and then something happens, and depending on what it is, I mean, again, different scales, different stages, all that kind of stuff. But if it's something minor, like okay, you know, I think I'm dating this girl, but then you know, my other friend, I think I like her, and maybe I tell her about it. I don't know. Something like that. That seems to be a pretty common thing around here. Here
I've
in
done
Florida.
that before.
Yeah.
Dated someone and told someone else I liked them.
Yeah, like something like that. Don't blow your shit for it, because like, what's wrong with you? Like, that's something that can easily be talked about and easily figured out.
But it's not like you cheated.
No, exactly. But
you
some
just,
people,
you just told
some
someone
people would,
else.
but you know, people are gonna go off and start saying that.
No. Because when that happened to me, because I did like one of my other friends while I was dating someone, And yeah, I mean, I know that's like not like the best thing that ever happened, but like it can happen sometimes. You just have two emotions at the same time.
You're terrible.
I know, I'm a fucking piece of shit. Anyways,
But that's what makes us human, like you said. Just
Yeah.
these little things.
The people who are the shittiest people in retrospect are usually the best people.
Okay.
Just putting that out there.
but like that friend group of mine. This is like way back.
Yeah.
They like hated me at that after that moment because they're like, you're dating her, and how do you tell someone else that you like them? And I'm like, yeah, I understand. Like I messed up, but like.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
it's not like I fucking kissed her.
Plus, I know sometimes people go through these the cheater, I guess. They go through these points, and it's sometimes, especially when you get far into some of these relationships, it's hard to, like, as much as you want to be honest. I know sometimes, I'm sure it could. It's hard to admit that you messed up.
And you know that what's gonna come when you say it, so you're fearing that initial reaction.
And a lot of people don't take it lightly. They're
Oh, yeah.
they're not quick to take it in. They're quick to just
React in a very angrily manner.
Like one person told me, and this is not just with relationships. This is with anything. If it really means something, don't say the first thing that comes on your mind. You take a step back. You exit the room for a minute. You collect your thoughts, and then you go off of that. Don't go off the first thing that comes to mind when whatever is told is said. And I think that not just relationships, just anything. And I mean, it's a true thing. It's a good thing to have. It really does help.
So do you think you could ever like spot it? Like we did bring this up for a second there, of like you could look at someone and you could be like, I could totally see you being as a cheater.
Yes.
Yeah. There are a lot of people out there. And
so, but what do you think makes you look like a cheater?
I'm glad you asked. So, key things. When you have relationships, people who are on and off, on and off, on and off. Don't you think when you're on and off, on and off, on and off all the time, and posting about one day, you broke up and you're sad and you're all this, the next day you're back with the same person. It's just a continuous routine. Don't you think that after a little bit of doing that, the other person or even both people are gonna get the idea? You know what? We're so on and on and on and off. Why I can do something with someone else? I can cheat or
like
mess
They
around
start something
or
on that off period.
Yeah,
and
and
they
then-
don't bother cutting
and
it.
only when
And
it's
then that
the
person
off
on the
season.
off, the person on the off season, you're right. The person on the off period, they're gonna go attached to you, because they're gonna keep thinking that you keep coming back to me, you want to be with me, and they're gonna grow feelings for you, but you're just using them because your main person doesn't want to be with you at that moment.
Yeah, and then there's also like people's I'm gonna say personalities, like the way you act with just anybody.
Yeah.
Then that the mentality you have, like I'm not gonna say rich kids, but a lot of people who have money and go to public schools tend to think when the majority of the school is not living in a nice plush big house and you have a nice fancy new car to drive, and then you have I guess you can call them your friends or your peers who are driving 10-year-old cars, and then that mentality, the people who think they're higher up and above everybody else, they can do whatever they want.
Plus, I know it's more like a high school thing, but because there's a difference between being friendly with girls and being friendly with girls, and some guys, they don't know the difference.
Yes,
and being a guy, sometimes I can't tell the difference when I think I'm just being, just a normal friend.
I will also contest
Females
that.
see it differently, but there's some guys who are clearly being really too friendly with girls, even whether they're in a relationship or not, and that definitely doesn't make you a cheater, but can definitely lead to some clues that it makes you suspicious.
Yeah, and I'll put it out there, like I'm not nice to everyone, but I am pretty friendly when it comes to people that I want to be friendly towards. And I think that's anybody, if you don't like someone or dislike someone or whatever, you're not going to give them that same level of affection or whatever or understanding that you would to your best friend or whatever. And there are a lot of people that I am friendly with, and it has happened in the past where they ask me, do you like me? And I'm like, no. And they're like, what? But you always talk to me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, because I'm friendly, not trying to do anything with you. Simple as that.
Plus, Guys are just stupid. We don't know what flirting is.
Yeah, so for any
just
woman out
know.
there listening, we've said it. We guys are stupid. Yes, we make mistakes. Are you happy?
Like
You're welcome.
I've been accused of flirting, and I'm like, huh?
Matt doesn't even know what flirting is, okay?
I really don't. Like in movies, it's clear. I could tell you.
Yeah, like when you're
flirting,
in the movies, like I wish those moments happen in real life. They really don't. You're flirting and you don't even know it's happening. Wow, I got really quiet again.
I know, yeah.
Did I say something I wasn't supposed to?
No, I'm just listening to.
I'm thinking.
Jake's always just listening.
Yeah, but no, there's definitely that line, and that can make people suspicious. But
Boy.
It just comes with people and maturity sometimes.
For sure, and there are a lot of people out there in high school, even early on, freshman and sophomore years, who are way more mature than some juniors or seniors.
But I think that also depends on like how, because I know a lot of people. It's what happened in their childhood and their personal life out of school.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely make them grow up a lot quicker. Than
Definitely,
they
yeah.
should.
I would agree. There have been some
different.
I would agree. There have been some times in my life that really have increased my maturity, and I think that's why I'm the way I am now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's multiple different things, not just one central event. But you don't know what's going on in someone's personal life, so of course they're gonna have a different way of handling certain things. And when you're forced to grow up way before your time, because a lot of people don't grow up until post high school, even sometimes post college, they're
Naturally, like it goes on.
Yeah, and I mean, you have a very, I'm not going to even say a small percent, because there are a lot of people out there who are ready to take on the world, and they're not even at that stage where they're even close to the world yet. They're still getting to know parts of the world. They're nowhere near.
They're still hatching.
Yeah, they're nowhere near about to tackle it, So.
Yeah. But I think that also can play an effect on how things go in relationships too, not just what's the word? Not just like like boyfriend girlfriend type relationship, just any sort of relationship you have. That definitely what you've been through can definitely change on how you perceive certain things. Like I know a lot of people try to read people of like how things it's like, oh well, they said it that way. That's definitely also based off of what somebody's been through, not just how they've been at school or at certain however the person, like whether it's like church friends. Like I got plenty of church friends who I only see at church. Whether it's just that interaction or not, they definitely have that background that they definitely base their actions and their decisions based off of.
Agreed.
So,
and
I mean that
and there's very few people in this world that base decisions on everything and not just a certain selection of criteria, so to speak.
Yeah, I know.
And that again, that correlates to just anything in life, not just the relationships, the cheating, friendships, whatever. There's a very small group of people who are going to take everything into consideration, and that very small group you will probably never ever meet, because that's just life.
Yeah, that's science, man. But
Unless you're going to jail, then you'll probably meet someone who knows how to base it off of everything, because that's just their job.
But I mean, that's also part of growing up. Is like I know a lot of people are like they think it's stupid all these like these romances in your younger years, but I think that also just kind of like builds people. Going through the stupid stuff definitely builds you. Whether or not it really meant something, it's still an experience to base off of. It still has its moments, especially once you get to the more mature part of high school and you actually go through those relationships. Definitely something to build off of for future.
I agree. I'm not sure how Jake feels, but I know like once I graduated and started going into life, you really hit, I'm not going to say a hard point in life, but you really start to realize the difference between that structured part of life that is basically built for you and then having to build it on your own. Finding a job, registering for your own classes, not having a guidance counselor do it.
Being alone.
Yeah, that too. Meeting new people, because you will probably never see those people that you went to high school with after you move on. And when you go to different colleges, you may go to college with the small group of friends, when you go to that school up in the capital or whatever. But the realization is you're probably never going to see those people, because each of you have a different major and a different set of classes, and you're each going to pick a different professor or whatever it is. And you know what?
Shit happens.
Yeah, and it's really hard for people because meeting new people, a whole lot of people are not used to just walking up to some random person at Starbucks and saying hello. Or
well, if you do that now, if you just go up to a random person at Starbucks and say hello, they'll be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, that's usually when
any you could say anything to them.
Yeah, you could be the nicest person alive, and they'll be like, "Why are you talking to me?"
Even when you're
Yeah.
expecting the person, you're still like, wait, what?
Yeah, you're gonna get a.
Like if you're waiting for your Craigslist order,
You're gonna.
That's
You're
right.
gonna get
That
a.
was
You're gonna get
random.
a cup of coffee in your face if you say hello to someone at Starbucks.
I mean, sometimes even when I order stuff like at Taco Bell and they come up to me and they start talking to me, I'm like, wait, what? Why are you?
Why are you
Oh,
talking?
oh,
Why are
my
you speaking?
food. That's
Why are
right.
you speaking?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of random sometimes. You're not prepared for it, but
but that's social anxiety. Of
Yeah,
the
like-
modern...
it's not, a lot of people find it hard just to say hi to the person next to them in like a college class, or a work related training, something like that. Because think about it, those are the people you're going to be with for like a semester or your career or whatever, and you're going to have to talk to them. And if you're not prepared to talk, or you're not prepared to get out of your little bubble, I mean, what are you doing? Like, you're in life. You need to get out of that bubble. You need to grow out of your shell. Just like how Mr. Krabs and back in SpongeBob was shedding his shell, and SpongeBob had to put it on and go to that Navy reunion thing, and Mr. Krabs was hiding behind the bush
Why
because
are we talking about SpongeBob?
Why not?
it works with life.
Okay.
SpongeBob is a very valuable show. Now, the
Hold on.
newer
Sorry,
episodes,
hold on. Put the money in the bag.
you're facing the wrong way, sir.
Oh.
Man.
Will that be from your checking or your savings?
Savings.
I was checking.
No, he said savings.
I was checking.
He
Can I
said
please see
savings.
some identification from one of you?
And he hands him his
My
ID,
wallet's in my back pocket. Sorry.
and then he's
Jellyfish.
like, "I
okay.
seem to be seeing a balance of $0 and 0 cents in
For
both of your accounts."
Oh. Next. So, with that being said, on to the next kind of part of this. So, like I was saying, life, when you get that transition from high school to college, from college into your career, I think it's really big for people to kind of, I don't know, get used to that maturity a little early on in life. Like, once you start hitting junior and senior years, and I'm pretty sure, Jake and I'm pretty sure Matt can contest to this. When you hit junior year of high school, you start to feel that freedom, and you start to kind of grow up a little bit more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. So when you hit senior year, you're just full on mature in a way. Like, for a high schooler, you're mature.
Well, not all of them.
Well, no, not all of them, but the vast majority of them,
Those who really see the potential of their freedom.
Yeah.
They're not
You
just seeing it as
start
free time.
going out more, you start wanting to stay out late at night, you start making plans with people.
Just doing stuff.
Yeah, and you're not doing that
too,
typical like staying after school for band or robotics or JRTC or whatever. No, it's like you stay after for that stuff, and then even after that, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you want to go out with your friends and go sit down in the same booth at Chick-fil-A for like 4 hours and make a scene. Like, that's what we used to do, and I mean, it was pretty fun.
I could so go for Chick-fil-A right now.
Maybe after. Well, anyway,
Next episode.
yeah, next episode, stay tuned
We
for
could.
Chick-fil-A.
We could do a live podcast at Chick-fil-A. I'm down to do that. The
Bro.
9/11 conspiracy, live from Chick-fil-A.
Oh Lord, eating God's chicken and everything like that, right? Well,
Well,
yeah. So back
back
when you hit senior year, like, a lot of people are driving when they hit senior year, and there are a lot of like sophomores who think they're cool because they get a car. That's because your parents think when you turn 16,
What
you're
are we talking about exactly?
everything.
Yeah, but we're not stupid.
Back to friendships and relationships and all of that.
the script.
People are gonna cheat, and that's bad. Like, don't do that. Cheating is bad.
Okay, I've done it before. Okay.
It's a part of life. You know what? You learn from those mistakes that you make.
It's an
Okay,
experience.
you
but
grow
you see,
from
like,
it.
you see,
Experience
like,
for some that
I
affects
did it
most.
at a completely different standard. I didn't do it to cheat, to cheat.
Let it be known, Jake was different than the rest of you.
Okay, I'm not different. I had a different life opinion when I grew up.
So you were different than them.
Yeah. So basically, in summary, relationships are definitely based off of how people are grown up, and when it comes to cheating, don't just take it as is. Definitely look at everything that's going on. Don't go straight from what happened to the answer. Just
go breaking my heart.
see what really led up to it.
Like, lay it out on the table. Figure out why did that person do what they did. And again, if at the end of that conversation you feel like you don't want to continue, that's your right. You don't have to continue.
No, yeah.
But don't be one-sided, so to speak. Let the other person speak.
Because
Don't act first, think second. Take a step back, think it through, and then do what you feel is best.
Yes, that's probably the best way to say it.
I remember Matt had a quote. He wanted the quote from the biblical Bible.
Oh, you want me to put?
So let's let him just hear what he's got to say from the
So
from
start
the
off
Bible.
by saying what it is.
What it is? Okay, so this quote basically defines love. This is just the Catholic Bible. Does not necessarily mean much, but for those who do believe this.
Hold on. Disclaimer, real quick. Disclaimer. This is not a religious podcast. Okay, this is just a once in a lifetime thing that's gonna be put in here.
It correlates with this podcast and its topic.
Like for those who feel like it helped. Like I know, necessarily like just in a regular religious status, it just felt in life. Yeah, because I go to church. For those who really care, I go to church, and my
Hallelujah.
One of my deacons was saying it during the homily, and it really spoke to me. That's something I could definitely use in life, and it's 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. I'm not gonna read the whole quote. I'm just gonna read the first part that really.
It really stuck to him.
Yeah, that really stuck. But it's so love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Notice the part, endures through every circumstance.
That's a pretty powerful message right there, folks.
And it kind of really does relate to what we're talking about. Like how,
it really does.
Like how, being cheated on sucks, but like you really should don't just go out on your very first instinct. Like really think about it.
Because in the end, you're gonna regret it, and if you're not gonna regret it, you're gonna miss it.
Yes.
A whole lot more than you're probably gonna regret that decision of ending things.
And maybe you did make the right decision by ending it.
But you'll never really know unless you go through the extra work.
You should take a moment and just talk through it with them.
And it might be a little bit of extra work, but sometimes it's worth it. It might save that relationship or help you guys grow.
Yeah, and like I know we didn't talk about it much, but also like friends are good to have, but sometimes, especially those in relationships, they can definitely try to influence you in ways that they feel are best. So just be mindful. Like that's another dangerous part of life is some friends will try and influence you in negative ways for your
sure. And everyone's gonna have.
And some people will definitely be like, I don't like them. I'm your best friend. Listen to me, and you can't date them.
Yeah, I know, I've had plenty of friends like that.
But it also goes the other way around too. Sometimes you have a relationship, like your partner will tell you, you can't be friends with them.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword both ways.
Yeah, which way is really the
By
right
the way,
way
and
to choose?
my opinion on that is shut the fuck up. I'll do whatever the fuck I want.
And that's why Jake's not in a relationship right now.
Well, because I'm like at a certain for some I can maybe get like some things, but like I'm not gonna just stop becoming friends with someone I've been friends with for 5 years because you don't like them. Like no.
Fair enough.
I'll deal if you have someone that I don't like, I'll deal with it. But don't tell me how to live my life.
Yeah. Like I'll listen to both. Like I'll listen to either side, but unless you give me a real reason to, I don't think. Unless you give like a real reason, I'm really not gonna care. Like if like my future spouse or whatever is just like, pulling that because that's more of a high school thing. Block. All the girls on your Snapchat.
Block. That's the biggest thing in high school. The biggest word you'll ever hear.
No, and that's
block.
I hate that the high school girls do that shit so much.
Yeah, like they block everybody.
It's not only high school. Like some college girls.
No, I know, but it's most like that's where it begins.
Yeah,
but it starts in high school because that's where they start to realize, if I just block you, it's gonna be so much easier. Is it though? Are you really gonna stop talking about that person? Are you really gonna?
Well, I've been blocked before, and then 2 weeks later, I hear back from them being like, "I'm sorry," and I'm just like, "I don't care."
I mean, if I get blocked, what do I care? I mean, that's your choice. You can block me if you want. I mean, we do have I'm not gonna call him a friend, but there is someone who graduated with Jake and I, and he did not like that I kind of told him off with kind words. I did not curse one bit in me telling him off, and he basically, instead of replying back, just hit block. And then like 2 weeks later, he was like my best friend, or he tried to at least. And now he's sitting at a college by himself because he has no friends. Just putting that out there.
just in summary, just be mindful of everything. Don't rush through life. Life is definitely short. I mean, for most people, when they go through like the biggest parts of their lives, they definitely think they got plenty of time at the beginning, and when they get towards the end, like whether that's the end of college, end of high school, or end of your first job, like major job, it goes a lot quicker than you think. And I'm sure that that's more of a cliche now. It's that common that it's become more of a cliche, but definitely don't rush through life. That's something you just sit down and really think about there.
I agree. I mean, I know for most of us, we really just want to get out of high school, and then once you leave high school, maybe not right away. I mean, for me, it wasn't right away, but now that I kind of rushed into things a little bit. Getting a good job, and going to school, getting myself settled, and things like that. And I do miss it. I do miss high school. I do miss that easy life, so to speak, because in high school things are structured, and whether that's with friends, relationships, schoolwork, whatever, you know how you're supposed to do things. Whereas once you graduate and you move on into the bigger picture, you have to structure it for yourself. And that goes with friends, relationships, school, work, whatever it is. You have to figure it out for yourself. You have to build a routine. You have to develop your own opinions. And you also have to find people who are going to support you throughout the way. And that sometimes is the hardest part, is finding that select group of people who are really going to stick with you. Because once you get into like college, and even if you don't go to college but you're in the workforce, you're not going to be best friends with everybody. Whereas like in high school, you know everybody, you know everyone, and even if you don't know them by name, you know their face. So you see those people, the people on the football team, the cheerleaders, those people. When you get to college, you're not going to know everybody. You will probably never, the person sitting next to you in college mathematics or whatever, you're probably never going to see them ever again after that. Unless you somehow become friends and you have the same major and you want to go take your business and administration or macroeconomics class together.
Or if you link up out of class. Like I know I have a buddy, and she has like a couple friends that she met in a single class, and now they're like friends whether they have classes or not.
Yeah.
But
that even like in the early stages, that's sometimes rare too.
Yeah,
because I know for me,
it's
because
definitely a minority.
I know it's also like, because I know for me, like a lot of my friends are still in state or they're nearby, so I don't have to go that extra mile per se and find a group of people to hang out with and chill with and that kind of stuff outside of school and work, because I have those people still, or already I should say. And I mean, yeah, there are those people out there you do meet through work or school or whatever, and you do become friends, but then they just become a part of that group you already have. They don't really start a whole new one.
Yeah, but friends are definitely can be tested through your tough times, whether or not they really help you through it. They definitely those who know what you're going through, not necessarily like what you're exactly going through, but those who know of it, that definitely tests not just their loyalty, but just what type of friend they are. Because
if a friend comes to you about a problem, I'm sorry.
No, you're
but it's just because I don't want to lose it in my mind.
No, it's just the way you said it, but you're good.
No, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
If a friend comes to you when you're going through a hard time and they know it, but you haven't said anything to them, that's a true friend. Because they know, they can read you. Even though you say you're fine, you act fine, you will do something that is not normal and that they will pick up on. I know I've done it with Jake. I know I've done it with Matt more than once. And with some of our other friends from our friend group throughout senior year, or Matt's junior year, because he's younger. And there's also things that they read off of me, and it really helps. You have that group that you're going to stick with. So,
yeah, like, I know there's some friends, like, when I had stuff going on, they couldn't necessarily help. Like, they didn't know what to do. But just the fact that they were able to still be accepting of, like, whatever the hell happened, Like, they're still willing to be my friend, whether or not it affected them. It could be something that was, weird, but, like, had nothing to do with them. But they were still, like, I can't help you, but if there's anything that you know of, I'm here. Like, they're still willing to be there by your side, whether or not they can do something about it. And that really tests, what type of friends you have. I mean, you can have friends that aren't that good, but it's more of a gut feeling. Like, even if they aren't there for you like that, they could still be a good friend in other ways,
Yeah, for sure. So Jake, what's is there anything else on that list?
No, not really. I mean, we kind of covered everything from episode 1 and episode 2 all on this one podcast.
It's a good thing because I mean, what's the timer running at right now?
We are at an hour.
Well, you split that in two. We're gonna have 2 episodes.
No, because episodes are like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
There are some podcasts out there that run like 20 to 30 minutes.
We're not one of those podcasts.
Well, I know, but like I'm saying, like for this specific episode, there's a reason why it's a part 1 and part 2.
We're not breaking this up, Tyler.
No, this is one episode.
Okay,
There's
well,
nothing you can say about it.
Okay, fine. We'll make it 1 episode. Let's.
Yeah, he just got his mouth shut.
So, Jake. So, what's the next big topic we're gonna add on to this episode 2? This part 2.
There's no part 2.
1 episode, 2 episodes, 90 freaking episodes. Do you want to continue talking about something else, or do you not?
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
On this list.
Oh, but we kind of finished everything on the list.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're talking about like how we're gonna close this up?
Yeah. Is there something else you want to add to kind of part our way, or do you want to just?
Okay. Well, I mean, are we done
I mean,
with this episode? Is this
Is it
episode? Have we finished the whole relationship, friendship, cheating, being in love?
I think we covered a good chunk of it. I mean, if there really is anything else,
I mean, yeah, I don't really. Think
we can always revisit it if we need
We
to.
do a part 2 down the road.
Yeah.
We can always do that. I mean, we don't have to do part 2 right after part 1. Titles can be changed later on, folks.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, opinions change, ideas come up.
Yeah, new stuff happens.
Yeah.
Life goes on.
Especially in Florida.
Oh my god, I hate Florida.
Hey, Florida is good.
So,
For the
all
most
right,
part.
guys. So that's gonna be all for this first episode of the podcast. Episode number 1. This is the real number 1. Last one was episode 0.
But Jake kept calling it
I
number
ca-
1 because
I-
Jake had a fart.
I'm fucking stupid. That's why.
He had a lot of pills.
I
aspirin.
also it was actually Advil.
To the makers of Advil, if you're listening to this, we are in no way bashing your product. We're more endorsing it. Yeah, hey folks, if you don't know,
I
Jake's
almost
throat
choked
hurts.
on food today,
Oh, here
and
we
like
go.
that like it like scraped my throat going down my esophagus. I hate that they're on the other side of the room because
Okay,
they're
Jake-
always.
So,
there.
we're gonna read a quote.
I'll read it for you.
Okay,
So this tweet was by @Verena Sade. I'm not gonna spell that. Just look it up. I
I'll
guess.
give you a shout out, I guess.
And her name is just V on Twitter. And
Okay.
it says, "Just want you guys to know, my boyfriend wrote me a 5-paragraph essay in MLA format about how much he loves me. Know what you deserve, girls and boys." The weird, I don't know how to describe that emoji, but it's like
It's
the glossy,
it's like
glossy
I call
Oh,
it
like
I call
the
the puppy
baby-
dog
oh,
face
yeah, the
emoji.
baby dog face.
You know, the really big black eyes that are like kind of crying but not crying. They want to cry, but
Well, that's gonna be all for today's podcast, guys. You know, we're gonna.
Thank you for joining us. This is
Yeah,
this
like,
has been
honestly,
fun
like,
so
this-
far.
we're really getting hype about this. And I know that our next episodes, I mean, we're gonna
Let's see what our next topic is.
Yeah, what is our next topic there, Mr. Jacob?
Our next topic. Well, we did both those in one episode, so parents. We can do any of them. But what I have left for episode number 3 is
Well,
parents.
how about we? Well, I don't think we're gonna have an audience on the social media to vote for that, but we can try. We can do a
Parents. No, well, fuck. No, we're doing it our way for right now.
vote. Oh, okay.
When we
fine.
get bigger,
Hey, our like 6 followers on Twitter could vote if they wanted to.
parents yelling in public or arguing in public.
Yeah, like, and that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah,
Maybe we can get some clips from real life that we can play.
Oh my
I can
god.
get enough.
And sometimes we're together.
So, anywho, as we wrap this up here at
Yes,
the
director.
last second here, don't forget to follow our social media for our Instagram, which is,
Subtle art of whatever.
and then our Facebook, which is also,
Subtle art of whatever.
and then our Twitter is
Of subtle.
@of subtle. Don't forget about that one. And then go ahead and follow the YouTube channel also. You subscribe to whatever Jacob, which this podcast for all you Apple podcast listeners is a YouTube channel on YouTube. So you subscribe to that if you haven't done so already, and that is appreciated.
Oh, and then a real.
All right, that's all for our podcast. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Whenever
Wherever
listen to
you
this.
are, and if you're driving, please drive safe, but enjoy the podcast.
Okay, but if you are driving is terrible.
Especially if you're in Florida and you have to deal with this thing called I-4. But we're not gonna get into.
Well,
that.
only
You
that
mean
small
I
section.
soar?
Only that small section.
Gonna make you wanna. Gonna make you
Aha.
My name's not Jerry.
But that's like a news anchor.
Yeah,
name.
thanks, Justin.
That's my dad's name.
Go to sleep.
No, you.
that was my awkward laugh.
Okay,
I hope you enjoyed it.
Bye, guys.